Hey friends, Barkey Dog back with another movie review. This time we're looking at a Gundam movie from 1989 known as Robot Jox. This one is legendary, a real VHS classic. The story here is pretty simple. In the future, there's a nuclear war, and finally realizing how dumb war is, mankind decides to settle conflicts another way. Namely, by using high-tech gladiators in giant robot mechs, just like Escaflowne or Robotech. The two gladiators, called Robot Jox, face off mano a mano in their respective robots, and the winner of the battle wins the dispute for his side. One combatant is the villain of the piece, gleefully stomping on helpless opponents. The other is our hero, who uses the code name Achilles. He's gonna fight the bad guy in his 10th and final fight. They can't retire until they do 10. But a problem arises when there's a spy giving secret info to the opposing side, and Achilles' team has been losing because of it. There's also a new group of trainees being brought in that are called tubies, humans specially bred from genetic material in test tubes and modified to fight and have no fear. One of these tubies is Athena, the love interest for our hero. They have to battle the bad guy to win a new conflict and save the day for their side. I have to admit, I've always had a sneaking admiration for this movie since the first time I saw it on VHS. It's definitely a guilty pleasure. Just good enough to enjoy and not completely bad enough that you want to laugh at it. Oh, don't get me wrong. It's dumb, all right. Box of Hammers dumb. But it's smart enough to move briskly along, and there's plenty of robot on robot battle action to keep the viewer engaged. True, the Tex character is annoying. I hate seeing these characters in futuristic sci-fi. I really do. They're supposed to be comedic or something, but they never fail to annoy me. Jerry Anderson was guilty of throwing characters like this in an occasional episode of his shows, and so was Irwin Allen. I'm sure the Robinsons met up with an asteroid prospector or two, complete with a donkey and cowboy hat and a western drawl. It just comes off as kind of dumb given the futuristic setting. It's supposed to appeal to kids, I guess, but I've always hated it. I would have liked to have seen more about the old biddy running this Tubi program too, but her part is kind of hand-waved away, unfortunately. It might have been interesting to learn more about her and the backstory behind the Tubi project. And some things just don't make sense, just as having the opposing teams hanging out in the same complex. Why allow that, especially given the competitive nature of being a Robot Jox, as well as the whole spy thing? That didn't make sense. Mostly it's so the bad guy can taunt the hero in the bar a few times, I guess. I like some of the things they threw in the mix here, but most of them don't do much to help the story along in practice. Like, apparently the air is polluted, so people wear masks outside, but they're those disposable paper ones from the hardware store, which just looks cheap here. And meat is rare and hard to get, so it's only available for special occasions. That's mentioned once, and that's about it. People are encouraged to have large families to repopulate the Earth, but again, it's only mentioned in passing, and you see a few posters encouraging it. And how fans react when a Jox loses. They can go from hero to zero in a day, but like the other stuff, the hero worship thing is glossed over. So Robot Jox wants to be slightly Soylent Green meets Blade Runner kinda meets rollerball, sorta, but it doesn't really manage to pull that off on the budget they had. One thing I did like was that the robot jocks train in kickboxing and physical combat. Those are skills they can use when operating the robots during a fight. And the robots look pretty badass. Sure, there's a few bad green screen shots and some stuttery stop motion animation in a few places, but mostly the robots look great. In fact, the movie is at its best during the robot battles. When the camera is on the robots, it's good. When it's pointing at the people, that's when it kind of looks cheap. The costumes, the sets, they're just awful. So you can tell where the money went with this one. Speaking of money, the movie cost so much it bankrupted the studio making it, a la Cutthroat Island. Empire Pictures was sunk by this torpedo, and the production was bought out by Epic Productions, who finished the film 2 years after it started. So we're lucky to have it at all. Oh, and if you look fast, you'll spot Jeffrey Combs from Deep Space Nine and Enterprise. He's in this for like a minute. Here's a fun fact. Jean-Claude Van Damme was almost cast as Achilles, and Vanessa Williams was considered for the role of Athena. So you can imagine how different this picture could have been, especially with a name brand like Van Damme starring in it. As it is, the cast is not exactly made up of A-listers, and that's too bad. The writer wanted to make something more hard sci-fi, but the director wanted to make something light and dopey for kids. It's an uneasy alliance at best, but it sorta works as far as it goes. But with bigger names, the movie could have gone in a different direction. With a higher budget and maybe a better director, this had the makings of a fine entry into the sci-fi action genre. As it is, it's still okay. I like it, but it's definitely not what it could have been. I'm giving this one 2 paws. Maybe it doesn't deserve it, but they certainly tried, and you can see that on the screen. The robot effects are really good too, and it's definitely worth a watch if you like Gundams or low-budget 80s sci-fi stuff. Robot Jocks is available on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and digitally from Amazon Prime. Well, that's about all I have for you this time. I'll be back soon with another video. In the meantime, you take care of yourselves, okay? And I'll see you in the next one.